Thank you for the opportunity to just take some time away to train and equip and be strengthened a little bit. We pray that you would guide this time and that it would be effective. And we thank you in Jesus' name. Amen. Well, in case you don't know who I am, my name is Rick Weinert. I am trying to get my notes up here. There we go. I am on staff at Oak Hills. I grew up in Bemidji. I graduated from Oak Hills as a student in 1975. So one of the professors earlier was saying he tells his students that for shock value that he started Bible college in 1978. And I'm thinking that sounds really late because I was already done by that time. But graduated in 1975 and I've been in ministry ever since. So I served 15 years with Village Missions as a missionary pastor in small rural churches in parts of Idaho, Northern California, and northern Minnesota, and north central Kansas. Then I went moved down to Dallas. I never intended to ever live in a city in my life, and I ended up spending 4 years in Dallas and 9 years in Houston. And every time I go back to Houston, I'm reminded of why I'm glad I don't live there anymore. I attended Dallas Theological Seminary, pastored a church down in the Houston area for about 7.5 years, taught Bible at the Christian middle school and high school for a couple of years, and then in 2003 moved to Libby, Montana. So I went from Houston, Texas to Libby, Montana. It was an awesome change. And I ended up being the director of a training center for missionaries with International Messengers for 3 years, and then served 6 years as a district superintendent with the Evangelical Free Church, and then the last 4 years pastoring Northern Bible Church, and now beginning of August I'm on staff at Oak Hills. My official title is Facilitator of Church and Ministry Resources, which is a mouthful and doesn't really mean anything. So basically what I do is provide training, equipping, mentoring, encouragement, and anything else I can to networking, whatever I can to be a resource for churches, pastors, and ministries. And that's my role. So let me ask you a question as we begin. This is kind of a test, so here we go. You ready? I'm not sure. This might just kill the whole thing right here and we're done. So what are the 3 most important things you need to know about communicating in a teaching setting?
Okay, that killed it.
Say what?
That killed it.
You're right, it did.
Because you got it so specifically defined. You are looking for a thought, and I have no idea what your thought is. And I, as a student, am not going to speak up and be wrong.
Thank you so much for saying that. Because you're absolutely right. And that's a terrible question.
Oh, boy.
And it wasn't a serious question, because I don't have a clue what the answer would be. But let me tell you what happens so often in teaching settings is that we do just that. A number of years ago, I sat in a Sunday school classroom in a little town in northeastern Washington, and I was just visiting and watching this Sunday school teacher try desperately to develop dialogue around the Sunday school table. They were meeting around a table, they all had coffee, they all had goodies, they did all the right stuff, to be able to talk, and these are people that are spending time together every week, and they know each other really well, and he was having a terrible time getting them to talk. And the one reason was that every single question he asked, although he didn't realize it, was designed to shut dialogue down. The question I asked you, how did you feel when I asked you that question?
I looked at my paper to see if you had the answer there.
Yeah, right. Good.
Didn't want to be wrong. Like
Didn't want to be wrong. Yeah. What else?
But it's too soon to ask me that.
Wait till the end of the class, right? Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. See, what happens when we ask the wrong kinds of questions is that we either make people, well, sometimes the answer is so obvious that we all feel a little silly answering, right? So nobody says anything. Or we think it's got to be a trick question, and so nobody answers. Or we're not sure what it is and we don't want to be wrong, so we don't answer the question. Or the question just has a yes or no answer and then we're done talking. So, all of those things shut down dialogue. So, let me just start by asking a question. How come my thing isn't working?
Thing. Get the thing.
It's a thing. It was working earlier. There we go. I'm up now. Let me see if it Scott, I swear it was working earlier, so I'm going to have to clue you.
So we want to be?
Yeah, that's a good place to start. So I'm going to share some things with you. Was it the second slide or the first slide?
This is the second slide.
Go back to the first one, would you please? I had this all working really good. I hate technology. So what have been some of your experiences with dialogue in Bible study, and what's the difference between being taught and learning? 2 questions, I'll give you your option, which one you want to answer, but which one catches your attention, and how would you answer that? What have been some of your experiences, and what do you see as the difference between being taught and learning?
It's not on there anyway.
It must be the screen, so
I tried. Sorry.
thanks, Scott. Yeah,
The taught
yeah,
is kind of like a drill, and learning is more understanding, I would
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
So there's a process involved,
yeah. Yeah.
with both people.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I told my students the other day, I said, it is my responsibility to teach you, to give you the information that I told you I would give you, but it's your responsibility to learn, because I can't learn for you. Yeah, absolutely. What else?
Along those same lines, telling is not teaching.
Yeah,
Very good point, Nelson.
yeah. Take that further.
I don't teach very well, but I tell really great.
Don't we all? Yeah. Thank you. Good.
There-
Yeah.
I want to correct you on some, you
Yes,
said
ma'am.
it's my job to give you the information, it's your job to learn.
Yes.
But when I worked in military, I taught in industry,
Sure.
and those people had to know how to do their job. It wasn't like in school where you just give them the information, you hope the kids absorb it. I was teaching those kids, they had to go out of there and know how to do the job.
Granted.
And I, as a teacher, had to learn how do I communicate with that student so that when they get done with the course, they've learned it.
Sure. So you're taking me to the next level.
Yes, I am.
Which is that it is my responsibility to present the information. I can't learn for you. You have to do the job of learning. But my job also is to present it in such a way that you, in fact, can learn it.
Yes.
And you're absolutely correct. Yeah, yeah. Good. What else? What has been some of your experiences in dialogue in Bible study settings?
What you're learning has to mean something personally to you. It can't be just a bunch of words.
That's great. Yeah,
I'm sorry,
yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
an old person, I'm hard of hearing, please speak up and repeat your question again.
You have to be actively engaged. What you're learning about has to mean something to you.
Yeah, what you're learning has to mean something to you, especially as adults. You know, we take kids and we carry them into school and say, okay, this is the stuff you got to learn, right? But as an adult, you're absolutely right. If we are doing training or teaching or equipping with adults, if they don't have any interest in learning it, if they don't see any value in it, it's not going to happen. Yeah, yeah, good, good. What else?
Oppositional points of view that tend to separate your groups.
Okay, take that farther. Tell me what you mean by that.
Well, say if you have a preterist versus a Zionist, if you have a pre-trib versus a post-trib, if you have, any number
Sure.
of these things, separates your group, stops dialogue, it separates the people. And
Sure.
we've had a problem with that.
So how do you deal with that kind of thing? other than simply to say, I'm sorry, you can't come anymore. Or divide them into two groups, and we're gonna have the Calvinist group over here, and we're gonna have the Arminian group meet over here. I mean, other than doing that, how do you deal with that kind of stuff? Yeah.
I think it's important to listen to people.
Yeah.
Because they don't think you care about them if you don't listen to them.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, you know, I mean, there's a way in which you present material, kind of like if you look at a math textbook from the 50s, 60s, 70s compared to now, you know, it was all just numbers.
Yeah.
There's no story or, you know, word problem kind of deal.
Sure.
The way in which it's presented, if you look at a math book today, it's just a wonderful difference from when I was growing
Sure.
up.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
the way it's presented,
Yeah.
it engages the students instead of
Yeah.
just telling them.
Right. That word engagement is really valuable, I think. And there's a book that I learned a lot from. Jane Vella is the author. Scott, you can go to the next slide, thanks. Jane Vella is the author, and it's a book called Learning to Listen, Learning to Teach. I don't know that Vella is a believer, but she has a great deal of experience with teaching adults in a wide variety of different cultural settings. So she does training in multiple countries, continents, languages, cultures, and so Vella has got what she calls 12 principles related to teaching. 12 principles of teaching. I'm going to talk about 6 of them really quickly today, and then try and address some of the issues that we just have talked about. What she's saying in that book is that if